All right, what's going on, guys? Boy TG, welcome back to another video. So, in this video, we are going to do the top 10 takeaways and, of course, moments from November. So, 2 months of hockey already in the books, and there was a lot in November that happened. So, without further ado, we are going to go ahead and get into it. As soon as this thing loads, Alrighty, so number one on the list, the NHL Global Series in Finland. Now, this was at the start of November. The very first day of November was the Global Series. It was from November 1st to November 2nd. The Panthers swept both games in the back-to-back meetings in the Global Series in Finland. Of course, Alexander Barkov, he had a big night in Finland, his hometown, home country. But I think this was in Tampere, Finland, which is where Alexander Barkov is from. So Finland's his home country. I believe Tampere is the part of Finland where he's from, and hopefully I pronounced that right. But if I didn't, somebody type it in the comments and tell me to pronounce it right. If I didn't, like how you pronounce Tampere, if I didn't pronounce it right. But Alexander Barkov, in two of those games in total, he had 5 points, so 1 goal, 4 assists for 5 points in two of those games in the Global Series. So notable Finnish players in this Global Series for the Dallas Stars: Rope Hintz, Esa Lindell, who I have on my fantasy hockey team, by the way, and Miro Heiskanen for the Florida Panthers, Alexander Barkov, Anton Lundell, Nico Mikkola, and E2 Losterainen. They are going to announce the 2025 NHL Four Nations Face-Off rosters for Team USA, Team Canada, Team Sweden, and Team Finland. So, of course, Alexander Barkov is going to be on the team. If he does be on the team, which I know he will, he should be team captain. I actually did a video of this on my TG Hockey channel, so you guys can go check that out if you have not already. But anyway, number two for the top 10 takeaways and moments in November, Sidney Crosby notching 600 goals. If this can load, that would be great. So yeah, Sidney Crosby notching 600 goals in November. He notched a milestone on Saturday, November 23rd, in the Penguins' 6-1 loss to Utah Hockey Club. He became the 21st player to notch the milestone and the second active player to hit the milestone. Of course, the first is Alex Ovechkin, who's currently on pace to breaking Wayne Gretzky's goal record on the NHL's all-time goal scoring list. I think Ovechkin notched it in 2018. I think it was against the Winnipeg Jets, I believe. He scored his 600 career goal. But Sidney Crosby, he's the second player in Penguins franchise history to score 600 goals. Of course, the first is Mario Lemieux, who had 690 goals with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Of course, fun fact that you didn't know, Sidney Crosby and Mario Lemieux actually did play together in the NHL. So that was during Sidney Crosby's first year in the NHL and Mario Lemieux's last year in the NHL that we got to see Sidney Crosby and Mario Lemieux play together. And of course, the third moment in November, Connor McDavid notching 1,000 career points. 1,000 career points for Connor McDavid. Unreal. But hey, no surprise considering a superstar player like himself. He's notched it on November 14, 2024, and the Oilers won 3-2 in overtime in that game against the Nashville Predators. Darnell Nurse had the game-winning goal in that game. And Connor McDavid, he had a 2.9 performance. Not only did he score a goal in that game to reach 1,000 career points, but he also had an assist on that play. And of course, you should guys listen to my Hockey Talk with TG podcast, which airs every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 11:30 a.m. to noon Central Time, 12:30 p.m. to 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. You would know that I said that it could be possible for Connor McDavid to reach 2,000 career points. 2,000 career points. I believe he can do it, but we'll just have to see if that will happen. We just have to see, but I believe it will be done before it's all said and done for Connor McDavid, but we'll just have to see. But anyway, Following that 3-2 overtime win against the Nashville Predators on November 14th, when Connor McDavid notched his 1,000 career point, the Oilers swept their season series meets against the Nashville Predators. Of course, the first two meets were in Nashville. The Oilers won 4-2 on October 17th. The second one was on Halloween, where the Oilers won 5-1. And of course, the third one was in Edmonton, which the Oilers took a 3-2 in overtime. Alrighty, so of course, number 4, Joe Thornton retirement game ceremony. So Jumbo Joe had his number retired by the San Jose Sharks. This was on November 23rd, 2024. And the Sharks were taking on the Buffalo Sabres in this game. Of course, Joe Thornton played 15 seasons with the San Jose Sharks. And he had 1,055 points in 1,104 games played. So 251 goals. 804 assists for 1,055 points in 1,104 games played. He's fourth in goals on the Sharks' all-time goal scoring list. He's first in assists in the Sharks' all-time goal scoring list. And he's second in points on the Sharks' all-time goal scoring list. And he went to the Stanley Cup final with the San Jose Sharks in 2016. Of course, that was a loss to the Pittsburgh Penguins in 6 games. And he was the San Jose Sharks captain for 4 seasons, then eventually went to Joe Pavelski. But in his career, so career-wise, he had 1,539 points and 1,714 games played, so 430 goals, 1,109 assists for 1,539 points and 1,714 games. And Joe Thornton is the second Sharks player to have his number retired. Of course, the first one is Patrick Marleau. And there's something else I was going to say. I forgot what I was going to say, but let's get into the actual game. Sharks and Sabres. So the Sabres, they won 4-2 in this game. Alex Tuch scored the game-winning goal in the third period for the Buffalo Sabres, which, of course, was a short-handed goal in that game. And Rasmus Dahlin had a goal assist for a 2-point night. Peyton Krebs and Dylan Cousins also scored for Buffalo in that win. And James Reimer made 31 saves in the game. For the Sharks, Fabian Zetterlund and Luke Cunningham scored for San Jose, while Mackenzie Blackwood made 27 saves in the game. All right, number 5, Jordan Binnington passing his agent, Mike Leo, on the Blues all-time wins list with 152 career wins. This was back on November 27, 2024. Jordan Binnington, he made 32 saves and set the Blues franchise records in wins, and the Blues 3-0 shutout win over the New Jersey Devils. And Mike LaRue, he had 151 points in 347 games. Let me know if I'm pronouncing that last name right correctly, guys, because I'm trying to pronounce it right. I don't think I did. Let me know down in the comments if I did it. If I didn't, just type in there how you pronounce it. So Jordan Binnington, that is his first shutout of the season and 16th of his career. Dylan Holloway scored twice in this game, and Robert Thomas also pitched in the goal. And all 3 of these goals for the St. Louis Blues were scored in the first period. Of course, the next 2 periods were scoreless, so really good goaltending from the goalies in this game. I think, was it Markstrom or Allen in there for the Devils in that game? I can't remember. But good goaltending nonetheless, despite the Devils losing in that game. All right, so Canadians versus Sabres Veterans Day matinee game tops number 6 on this list. So, of course, this game was, of course, on November 11th because it was Veterans Day. Final score was 7-5. So this game was crazy. It was a crazy, unreal game. Total of 12 goals were scored in this game. Of course, the Canadians had 7. Buffalo Sabres had 5. And the Canadians came out with the win in this game, which at that time ended their 6-game losing streak. Cole Caulfield had a 2-goal game in this game. Of course, one of his goals was the game-winning goal. I believe that was in the third period where he scored on the power play. And Nick Suzuki, 4-point performance. 2 goals, 2 assists with 4 points in that game. For the Buffalo Sabres, Dylan Cousins and Rasmus Dahlin had a goal and assist for the Sabres. And of course, we got to see both teams change up their goalies. So Sam Montembeault came in for Caden Premu after Caden Premu allowed 5 goals on 14 shots faced, and Sam Montembeault made 4 saves in relief. For the Buffalo Sabres, Devin Levi came into this game for Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen after Luukkonen allowed 4 goals on 18 shots faced in net. And Devin Levi made 2 saves in the process. Tage Thompson and Matthias Samson did lead this game with a lower body injury. They should be back in the lineup now with the Buffalo Sabres, but this was during that game. But this game, unreal game, really enjoyed it. This was a morning, I think this was like an afternoon game that came on. I thought it was a morning game. I believe it's the afternoon game that this had came on, and it was just like unreal. I enjoyed like every second of this game right here. And it's nice seeing the Canadians and Sabres go at it against each other. They have some great young talent. The Sabres especially have a great young talent on their team. Of course, they're looking to break that long year playoff drought. So we'll see if it happens, but highly doubt it, but we'll just have to see. All right, so of course, number 7 on this list, Zach Werenski's 5-point night performance versus the Tampa Bay Lightning. So he had 5 points in that game in the Blue Jackets 7-6 overtime win versus the Lightning on November 21st, 2024. So 2 goals, 3 assists for 5 points in that game. Of course, one of his goals was the overtime game winning goal, and Zach Werenski's 5 points in that game are most by a defenseman in Columbus Blue Jackets franchise history. Kent Johnson scored twice in his return. Sean Monahan had a goal and 2 assists. For the Lightning, milestone night for Nikita Kucherov as he had 3 assists to surpass 900 career points. Anthony Cirelli, Brandon Hagel, Mitchell Shaffey, and Connor Geeky each had a goal and assist in this game. And Cam Atkinson, he scored for the Lightning in his return to Columbus. Of course, he started off his career with the Columbus Blue Jackets, and then he went to Philly to play for the Philadelphia Flyers, and now he's in Tampa Bay playing for the Tampa Bay Lightning. All right, so of course, coming in at number 8, Connor Bedard versus Matei Michkov showdown. First time we get to see Connor Bedard and Matei Michkov meet. They were both drafted in the same draft class. Of course, Connor Bedard went first overall in that first round of the 2023 NHL draft, and Matei Michkov went 7th overall in that first round of 2023 NHL draft. And this game was on November 23rd, 2024. Lucas Reichel, Patrick Maroon scored for the Blackhawks. Of course, the Blackhawks will blow that lead, and the Flyers will get goals from Sean Couturier, Noah Cates in regulation, tie the game up at 2-2. The game will go into overtime, and no other than Matei Michkov scoring that overtime game-winning goal on the power play for the Flyers. 3-2 win over the Chicago Blackhawks. All right, so number 9. I believe it's number 9. Trying to keep in track in order. But we got Kirill Kaprizov's November performance. So I believe he had a great performance in November. He had 19 points in November alone. So 9 goals, 10 assists for 19 points in the month of November. He currently leads the NHL. This probably might have changed now because I believe I created this yesterday. So it might have had changed. But he leads the NHL in points with 38, 15 goals, 23 assists with 38 points. He leads the Wild in goals with 15, assists with 13, and points 38. 18 plus and minus right there. And the Minnesota Wild are tied with the Winnipeg Jets for first in the Central Division. Of course, the Stars are currently in action against Utah Hockey Club as I'm making this video. So we'll see if because this is going to change. So let me get my latest point. This is going to change right here because, like I said, as I'm recording this video, the Stars are playing Utah Hockey Club right now. And of course, Macklin Celebrini, he had a great November. He was named November Rookie of the Month. I touched on this in my episode of my podcast, my recent episode of my Hockey Talk with TG podcast. So if you did not watch that episode, if you are not following the Hockey Talk with TG podcast, please follow it so that you can stay up to date on the latest NHL information. But anyway, like I said, I touched on this on my podcast. I went more in depth on this in my podcast already in my recent episode. So, like I said, named Rookie of the Month. He had 12 points in 14 games played in November, 7 goals, 5 assists for 12 points in 14 games played in November, 14 points in 15 games played this season. So, 8 goals, 6 assists for 14 points in 15 games played this season. And on November 18th against the Detroit Red Wings, he became the third youngest player in NHL history to score his first regular season overtime goal. Of course, the first one was Sidney Crosby. Yeah, 18 years old on November 16, 2005. The second was Jordan Stahl. Same thing, did it at 18 years old, but except it was on February 10, 2007. He's tied for third in points among rookies with 14. Of course, Lane Hudson is another NHL rookie who has 14 points. Of course, the first in that is Matei Michikov, and the second is Logan Stankoven. And of course, just for bonus, I decided to throw the NHL Thanksgiving Showdowns one of this because always nice to see a little NHL hockey going on after Thanksgiving with the doubleheader on TNT and stuff. Of course, when NBC was still around with Doc Emmerich and Pierre Maguire, Eddie Olczyk, the Thanksgiving Showdowns will come on NBCSN. But unfortunately, NHL games are not coming on NBCSN no more. And of course, Doc Emmerich is not doing play by play anymore. Really do miss him up in the booth. And hope and I know he's not gonna come back and like do play by play, but like I said, I really do miss him. He was a great play by play commentator, and listening to his calls on TV was like it gave me kind of like chills right there, and it was just like so electrifying to hear. So yeah, but anyway, Pittsburgh Penguins versus Boston Bruins, Colorado Avalanche versus Dallas Stars. These were the two games that came on TNT, True TV, and HBO Max during the NHL Thanksgiving Showdown. Of course, the first one featured the Penguins and the Bruins, and the Penguins won 2-1 in that game against the Boston Bruins. Philip Tomasino scored the game-winning goal in that third period. Of course, this was his first goal with the Penguins since coming in that trade with the Nashville Predators. He made his Penguins debut in the Penguins 5-4 win over the Canucks. Of course, I don't think he had a point in that game, I believe, but first goal with the Penguins since coming over in that trade with the Nashville Predators. Rickard Rakell also scored for Pittsburgh in that game, while Tristan Jarry made 30 saves. For the Bruins, Charlie Coyle scored for Boston, while Jeremy Swayman made 34 saves. And this is the first of 3 meets this season for the Boston Bruins and Pittsburgh Penguins. Of course, the second one will be on March 1st, 2025 in Pittsburgh. The third one will also be in Pittsburgh, but on April 13th, 2025. For the Colorado Avalanche and Dallas Stars, the Stars won 5-3 against the Colorado Avalanche. Rope Hintz scored the game-winning goal in the second period on the power play. Stars for 2 for 4 on their man advantage in the game. Of course, Tyler Seguin had the other power play goal for the Stars. Mason Marchment, who's been a really solid, good player to watch for the Dallas Stars so far this season. He had a 3.9, notching 2 goals and 1 assist. Of course, one of his goals ended up being the empty net goal. And Jamie Benn and Tyler Seguin each had a goal and assist in this game. Jake Onger, stellar in that, made 28 saves for the Dallas Stars. For the Colorado Avalanche, Mikko Rantanen, who took home November's 3 stars in a month. He had a goal and assist in this game. Cale Makar, he had 2 assists in this game. And Vali Nichushkin and Arturi Lehkonen scored for the Colorado Avalanche in this game. So, yeah. All right, guys. So that is going to do it for this video. So as always, leave a comment down below. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And of course, make sure you follow the Hockey Talk with TG podcast on all of your podcast streaming platforms. So every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 11:30 a.m. to noon Central Time. It also airs from 12:30 to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. So Eastern Time people, it airs from 12:30 p.m. to 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Before my Pacific Time people, 9:30 a.m. to 10 o'clock a.m. Pacific Time. So make sure you are following the Hockey Talk with TG podcast on all of your podcast streaming platforms. All all your podcast streaming platforms. And this comes on Spotify, it comes on YouTube, it comes on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, which I highly doubt anybody uses. But yeah, you get the point. All right, so yeah, that is going to do it for me. Like I said, make sure you like and subscribe, leave a comment down below. Follow the Hockey Talk TG podcast on all your podcast stream platforms, and I will see you guys next time.